everyone, this is Debbie from Project 39 Mini Albums. I want to show you a project I made using up some of my scraps. I was inspired from a video I saw by Heather from Covered by Grace Creations. She had made these little spiral notebooks using index cards from the Dollar Tree and paper. She was using up paper from her stash. I like to do small projects after I've done large projects just to use up all of the paper. And so that's what I used her idea for. I also had these spiral rings for my cinch in just the right size. Some of them had 6 sections, some had 5. The ones that had 5 sections, I used just a longer version of her project, just so I could use up those 5 rings. Also, what else did I do? Some I put the 5 rings down at the bottom, and I'm going to actually add some ribbon up at the top just to sort of counterbalance that. But that was a way of using up those 5 rings that I had so many of. I mean, I just had a lot of them. So I was glad to use those up as well as smaller pieces of the binders. You know, when you're making something with the cinch binding machine, you usually get, I guess it's a 12-inch long piece of coil. And I don't usually make anything that big. So you cut it and you have all the leftover coil. And I saved it. And I'm glad I did because I was able to use it all. So I'll just take you through. Let me move most of these out of the way. I'll just take you through a couple. So this one, I just was using up paper from my stash. There's a little pocket in the front. I didn't put anything in it. And then I was using up some polka dot paper also, which was bright colors. And so that worked real well with this cute little RV paper. These I'll probably give. Now this piece of paper doesn't go, but I added some papers that were in my stash in different colors. I just thought, you know, might as well. I got them out of my stash. I'll probably put these in Etsy orders because sometimes people who are buying from my Etsy shop know that I am an RV traveler. So I made a bunch of them, a bunch of them. And then I used most of a collection I had used, but I still had that was in my stash. I had cut it and never used it. This one I didn't put the tabs on, but these pages are a little bit bigger than the index cards. So anyhow, I used this paper to make storage things for my stash like that. I used just to put, you know, little trinkets in or ephemera from a collection just so it doesn't get all over the place and I can go through and look at the stuff. So I had made several of these size little books with that. I made some cards using a Harry Potter collection that I've had for 10 years. And I found that I had some of the an ephemera pack. So I added them to some of the pages here and was able to, this one I didn't know what to do with, so I'm just including it. I was able to smash the rest of the paper and all of that ephemera. I put some in the pocket there too. Sort of a cheater way, but you know what? It works. I also did, you may have seen mini album I made using the Beaches Calling collection. At the end of my project, you know, I made a mini album, then I made a couple of post-bound albums, and I still had paper left over. So I just took the paper and the cut aparts and made this. So it's 4 by 5, so it's a longer version. And as you can see, I just pieced together some of the paper just so I could use it all. You know, there were all different sizes of paper. This was using a just a notebook I had, a blank notebook. This I put something on the back so you can write on because it had really busy pattern paper. So I cut apart that notebook, took some of this paper and just, again, just pieced it together just so it would make an interesting book. That's a chipboard element. And that's a pocket. I know I had another ephemera card or something I was going to put in the back, but that makes a nice little book. And I may give it to the person who buys the original mini albums, or I may just keep it. I'm not sure what I'll do with this, but it's such pretty paper. I was glad to be able to use it. But here you can see I just pieced together some of my leftover paper. By the time I finished with this, I only had tiny scraps. I'll save them and see if I can make a card or two. But I mean, they're tiny scraps, and I don't know if I even have enough to do that. See, I kept getting smaller and smaller with my projects. Added a piece of one of the cut aparts, put a cut apart on here. This is the index card. Yeah, just added some paper, more index cards, more paper, more index cards, made a little folder at the back, made a pocket, and used up my rings. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to show you this great way of using up the leftover paper when you've gone through most of a collection. I will put the link in the description box of Heather's video on how she made it. She describes it really well. I'm not going to go through it and do it because she did a great job, and it really inspired me to make a whole bunch of these. So that is what I have for you. Hope you enjoyed this. Thanks so much for watching, and have a fabulous day.